Hi everyone, Rob Howard here from RJH Motorbike Training in Manchester. A rainy, wet, windy Manchester day, which is difficult, but hey ho. Short tutorial on learning how to ride a motorcycle. So this video will benefit anybody that's looking to do a CBT for the first time on a manual bike. Any of those really novice entry-level pupils that don't really know what the controls are and how to ride a motorcycle. So it's just a short tutorial using one of our Honda CBF 125s, which we use for CBTs. Graham, one of our CBT instructors, is going to be showing us where the controls are, etc. But this particular bike, Honda CBF 125, it's a 5-speed gearbox manual, which means that it's got gears, and it's a typical type of bike that you could do your CBT on, and it is very learner friendly. So let's have a look a little bit closer. Main controls, 2 wheels, handlebars. On the right hand side, as you're sat on the bike, you have what is called the throttle. The throttle, gas, accelerator, that is what will give you power to go forward. It will introduce more fuel to the engine to increase your speed. Now, you use it gently, progressively. You hold the handlebars exactly the same as you would a push bike, not too tight, and you twist that throttle towards you the thickness of a pound coin at a time. Now, if you ask any young child how they would use a motorbike, they would give it full throttle, and that's what we don't want you to do. That's not how you want to be using it at all. Now, it's got a spring on it, so when you let go of that throttle, it will spring back. Now, you don't need to let go of it for the throttle to go back. You just roll forwards. So keep hold of the throttle, but roll forward. So that's the throttle on the right-hand side of the handlebar. Also on the right-hand side of the handlebar is a lever, which is pretty much exactly the same as what you would use on a push bike. It's a brake. It's the front brake, and you would use the brake to slow down and stop. How do you use the brake? Progressively, gently, squeezing. Do not use it harshly. So if you yank on that front brake harshly, you could lose control. It's the most powerful of the 2 brakes, and you're going to use it to slow down and stop. We would highly recommend only using it in a straight line with the back brake. Try and avoid using it when you're turning or riding around bends. Okay? Use as many fingers as you can reach with. As you can see there, Graham is using 4 fingers. If you were to use 1 finger, those other fingers, look, could get caught, and you've not got the same control. Staying on the right-hand side is the rear brake. Now, the rear brake you use with your right foot, and you've got a peg which you put your foot, your heel of your foot onto the peg, and the ball of your foot would be used to press down on the back brake. Now, again, nice and gently, not harshly. And if you think of squeezing an egg, the harder you squeeze that egg in, it would crack. So just squeezing it sufficiently that you wouldn't break the egg. So it's just a gentle use of that back brake. Now, on this particular bike, the front brake, let's just go back to there, is hydraulically assisted. You've got a brake fluid reservoir because the front brake is a disc brake, very effective, very efficient. The back brake, which again there, the right foot presses down, is cables and rods, and it's a drum brake. Okay, so not quite as effective, but most 125cc learner bikes will have a disc brake on the front and a drum brake on the back. So just to highlight again, the brakes front is the most powerful, straight line only with the back brake, and we teach front followed by back. The back brake you're going to use a lot more on its own and slow speed control. Let's move. No, Graham, better just get you. Oh, he's got his Man United bloody cap on. I don't know. Coming round to the left-hand side. The left handlebar is just a handlebar. There's no movement on the grip at all there, but the left hand will show you there a clutch. Now this is a cabled clutch. It's not a hydraulic, very easy to use. Now a clutch, for those new into it, is used to change gears. It's used to move off, and it's used to stop. There's 3 positions of the clutch. Like the front brake, you're going to use as many fingers as you can reach with. In this instance, Graham's using all 4 fingers, his thumb's tucked on the other side of the grip. But you have got 3 positions of the clutch. So where it is now, which is out, is engaged. Right the way in, so you disengage, that's disengage, and somewhere in the middle is what we call the bite point, and that is the point where the gears and the clutch start to move the bike forwards. It gives you that drive. What is important is you don't just let go of it. What is important is that you feed it out the thickness of a pound coin again. And for a new rider, I think it's fair to say, Graham, that the most important control for them to master and develop is the clutch. Okay, so it is an important one there. Down on the left foot is the gears. Now this is very simple to explain. This particular bike has 5 gears, and how it works, like most motorcycles today, is 1 down for first, and all the rest of the gears are up: 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. In between 1 and 2 is the neutral. So your foot is being used a combination of underneath to go up the gears, and a combination of over the top to change down the gears. So very simple. This particular bike has 5 speed, 5 gears. It's a sequential gearbox, which means you don't have to worry about going up too many gears at once, because you can only go 1 gear at a time. Now the gears you use in conjunction with the clutch. So to disengage, the clutch enables you to change your gear. Okay, very important that coordination, and you develop that when you're learning to ride. So clutch and gears, sequential gearbox, neutral. So what we can do to know that we're in neutral is have a little look at the dashboard, and if we turn the key on, you've got there a neutral light. The green light is a neutral light. To make sure it's in neutral, you can rock the bike forwards, and that means that it's freewheeling. If it wouldn't move and the neutral light was on, it could mean that you've got a false neutral. Alright, now if you try and start the bike up when it's in gear, you could lose control. Different bikes will have a safety mechanism of disengaging the clutch to start. This particular model you don't. So let's have a think about the main controls again. We've got the accelerator, the front brake, the rear brake, the clutch and the gears. And I think for this particular tutorial, that's the main controls, Graham. Yeah?
Yes, main controls, yeah.
Yeah. Shall we think about then starting the bike up and just moving off? Yeah? So the first thing, key on, neutral light on. We know it's in neutral because we're rocking the bike. Electric start on this one. Press the electric start. and because it's a fuel injected Honda, you don't have to faff about with a choke and warm them up like some of the older CGs. You can listen to the tone there, and you can just increase the rev slightly. You can just listen to the tone of the engine build up, and all that is a thickness of a pound coin. So talk me through, Graham, what process that we teach for selecting first gear.
Okay then, so got the bike started. We apply the front brake.
Why is that, Graham?
Well, what happens if you put it into gear and you let go of the clutch by mistake, it won't jump forward.
So it's a safety mechanism.
Safety mechanism, so the bike's not going to move.
Because your feet are down as well, aren't they, at that stage? So yeah, good. Front brake.
So front brake's applied. Clutch.
Sorry, Graham. Clutch. So clutch.
All your fingers. Bring in the clutch.
Which is disengaged.
Disengaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. With your left foot then. Select first gear, which we actually said was one down.
And you can feel it and hear it click into first, which is good.
Yeah. Once we've done that, what we then say to you is to put your left foot down onto the floor, bring up your right foot onto the foot peg.
Still covering that front brake.
Controlling the back brake now.
Yeah.
Because we've got control of the back brake, what can we do with the front brake? Well, we could let go of that.
Okay.
So we'll let go of the front brake, we've got control of the back brake. Now we've got control of the throttle.
So, what position is that, Graham?
What we call the control position.
Control position.
Control position. This is the way we want to stop as well. Control position, moving off.
Okay.
And stopping.
So, to move off, what's the next sort of step to move off then, in simple terms?
Simple terms is to let the clutch out till you find the biting point. So.
And all clutches are going to be different, aren't they?
They are, yeah. There's the biting point, yeah.
You can hear that.
Hear that, yeah. So once that biting point
can you feel that, Graham, as well?
Yeah, you can actually feel that.
Yeah.
If the brake came off there, then obviously the bike would move. Yeah.
So you're still covering your rear brake.
Covering the rear brake.
Yeah.
All we're doing is just trying to find the biting point. What we then tell you to do is slowly come off the back brake, and then let the clutch out about a width of a pound coin.
The thickness of a pound coin at a time. So you're not really letting that clutch out until you've got a little bit of momentum.
You do because if you do let the clutch out straight away, the good chances are that it's going to stall. Because what you're basically doing is dumping the clutch.
Yeah. So should we have a look at that moving off?
Yeah. So, all I'm going to do is just move away a little bit. I'm not going to put my foot up. I'm just going to show you how the bike could actually move. So look for your biting point. Always look ahead where you want to go. Don't be looking down at the levers. You know what your hands are going to do.
So you're just controlling that clutch, look, yeah?
So controlling it, just moving it in a straight line. Bring in the clutch, back brake. Covering the back brake.
So how would you move off from there then? Just to...
So what I'd actually do, just to move off now, again, get the biting point, off the back brake, so we introduce the throttle a little bit. Put the foot up, once the foot's up, and then slowly let the clutch out. Then you've got control of your throttle.
So again, that clutch really is playing an important part in stopping and starting, isn't it, and moving off. So hopefully, guys, that just gives those that are thinking of a CBT, that have never ridden a bike, a manual, just gives you a little bit of a head start as to what the main controls are. There are a lot more controls that you'll cover on your CBT, but the main controls that you're going to need to know about just gives you a bit of a head start. So good luck with your CBTs. Hopefully you find the video useful. Any questions, just ask away, comment away, And until next time, thanks a lot, Graham.
Right, thanks a lot, Rob.